8 subtle gestures that make women desire you instantly, psychology tricks. Love is not something you find. Love is something that finds you when you become the right presence, a simple truth, but one most men overlook. Listen closely, because what you're about to understand goes far beyond the shallow advice that floods social media. Attraction isn't built on clever lines, money, or trying to dominate attention in a room. That path has confused men for years. Real attraction lives in a deeper place. Women are rarely moved by what is loud or obvious. They're drawn to what feels natural, calm, and quietly powerful. It's the subtle things, the small, almost invisible gestures that reach her on a level she can't logically explain. The way you hold your gaze, the calm rhythm of your breath, the grounded way you carry yourself, these are the signals that stay with her long after you're gone. Hours later, even days later, she finds herself thinking about you, not because you tried too hard, but because something about you felt different and real. Here's the truth many men never face. They already have everything they need, but they misuse it. Instead of mastering presence, they try to manufacture attraction. They chase approval instead of creating impact. But attraction doesn't come from force, it comes from alignment, from stillness, from control. The smallest shift in your energy, your posture, your awareness can completely change how a woman experiences you. You don't need to be louder. You need to be sharper, more intentional, more grounded. So don't rush this. What you're about to learn are not tricks. They're subtle behaviors that transform how you are perceived without you saying a word. When you understand them, curiosity turns into intrigue, and intrigue turns into something far more powerful. Stay focused, because even one of these small adjustments can change the way she remembers you, and once that happens, everything else begins to follow. 1. Holding strong eye contact, the triangle gaze. Where your attention goes, energy flows. And nowhere is that more obvious than in the way a man uses his eyes, because the truth is simple. Before a woman hears your words, she feels your presence, and before she understands your intentions, she reads your eyes. Most men fail here not because they lack potential, but because they hesitate, they doubt, they look away too soon, and in doing so, they silently communicate uncertainty. Don't do that. Be different. Be intentional. Holding strong eye contact is not about staring or trying to impress. It is about quiet control, about showing that you are comfortable in your own skin, that you are not shaken by connection, that you can see her without needing approval. That is one of the most overlooked psychology tricks, yet it sits at the core of female psychology and how attraction begins to build beneath the surface. Think about it clearly. A quick glance is forgettable. Everyone does it. It signals nothing. But when you hold that gaze just a fraction longer, just one heartbeat beyond what is expected, you create tension, curiosity, and emotional awareness. Not pressure, not discomfort, presence. That is the difference. You must understand this. Attraction is rarely loud in the beginning. It is subtle, almost invisible, and built through small, controlled signals that speak directly to the subconscious. That is how to fall in love starts, not with grand gestures, but with moments that feel different, moments that linger. Now take it a step deeper. Don't just look, guide the moment. The triangle gaze is a refined move, simple in execution but powerful in effect, and it works because it aligns perfectly with female psychology and the natural rhythm of attention. First, meet her eyes, steady, calm, grounded. Then shift gently to the other eye, as if you are fully present, fully engaged. Then, briefly, very briefly, let your gaze drop to her lips before returning to her eyes. No rush, no tension, just flow. This creates a silent signal of intimacy that her mind picks up instantly, even if she cannot explain it logically. These are the kinds of psychology tricks that separate a man who is noticed from a man who is remembered. But listen carefully, execution matters. If you rush it, you lose it. If you force it, you break it. This is not about technique alone. It is about the energy behind it. You must be calm. You must be centered. You must feel that you belong in that moment. Because if your mind is anxious, your eyes will reveal it. If your intention is approval, your gaze will weaken. But when you are grounded, when you are simply present without trying to prove anything, your eye contact becomes magnetic without effort. That is power. That is quiet confidence. And here is what most men never notice. Her reaction will tell you everything. Watch closely. If she looks down and then back up, she is processing the moment. If she adjusts her hair, touches her face, or shifts her posture, she is responding emotionally. If she holds your gaze a little longer than before, the connection is building. You don't need to ask. You don't need to guess. Her body speaks clearly when you know how to read it. This is why mastering something as simple as eye contact changes everything. Conversations become easier. Attraction becomes natural. You stop chasing outcomes and start creating experiences. And that is the real shift. Because how to fall in love is not about forcing feelings. It is about creating an environment where feelings can grow. And it begins in silence, in presence, in a single glance that feels different from all the others. So don't underestimate this. Don't treat it as small. The man who controls his attention controls the energy of the interaction. The man who can hold eye contact without tension communicates strength without saying a word. And in a world where most men rush, avoid, or overcompensate, the one who stays calm, steady, and intentional stands out immediately. Remember this: attraction is not about doing more. It is about doing the right things with awareness. Use these psychology tricks wisely. Respect the moment. Stay present. Because when your eyes speak clearly, your words become secondary, and when a woman feels something before you even speak, you have already stepped beyond the ordinary and into a space where connection begins naturally, deeply, and without force. 2. The masculine half smile. Subtle confidence. 2. The masculine half smile. Subtle confidence. And you must understand this clearly. This is not just a facial expression. It is a signal. A quiet declaration of who you are. Most men get this completely wrong. They believe attraction comes from exaggeration. Bigger smile. Louder energy. More obvious friendliness. But don't fall into that trap. That is not how you attract women. That is how you seek approval. And a high-value man never chases approval. He radiates presence. Forget the forced grin. Forget stretching your face just to appear likable. Women are incredibly sharp when it comes to emotional authenticity. They read energy faster than words. A fake smile is like wearing something that doesn't belong to you. It feels off. It looks off. And more importantly, it creates distance instead of attraction. That is why the masculine half smile works. It is controlled. It is effortless. It says, I am here. I am grounded. I am enough. That is masculine energy in its purest form. Think about real moments in your life. When something genuinely amuses you, not enough to laugh, but enough to spark that subtle smirk. That is the feeling you want. Natural, unforced, alive. That is the energy that pulls people in. Not because you are trying, but because you are simply being. And that is exactly how a high-value man moves through the world. Picture this clearly. You're standing in a lounge. Relaxed posture. No tension. No need to impress. Across the room, she notices you. Now here is the moment that separates average men from those who truly attract women. Don't overreact. Don't rush to signal friendliness. Don't perform. Instead, let the corner of your mouth lift slightly. Just enough. Your eyes stay calm. Present. You hold your ground. That is it. No chasing. No overthinking. Just presence. And in that small moment, something shifts. She feels it. Curiosity begins to grow. Now understand the psychology behind this. Women are highly attuned to micro-expressions, tiny, almost invisible signals that reveal your internal state. A genuine half-smile communicates emotional control. It tells her you are enjoying the moment, but you are not dependent on her reaction. That balance is powerful. It creates intrigue. It makes her lean in mentally. Because now she is not just seeing you, she is trying to understand you. And that is where attraction begins. You must use timing wisely. After you say something playful. After she teases you. Hold that half smile for just a second longer than expected. Then let it fade naturally. That pause is everything. That stillness creates tension. Not awkward tension, magnetic tension. It pulls her deeper into your frame. She starts wondering, what is he thinking? Why does he feel so calm? And without realizing it, she becomes emotionally engaged. Look at the men women often talk about, the ones they remember, the ones they feel something for. It is rarely the loudest man in the room. It is not the one trying the hardest. It is the man who is composed, the man who speaks less but says more, the man whose expressions are controlled, intentional. He doesn't give everything away. He lets curiosity do the work. That is masculine energy. Quiet, steady, unshaken. And here is something important you must accept. This has nothing to do with perfect looks. Don't hide behind that excuse. Don't say, I'm not attractive enough. That mindset will hold you back. Attraction is not built on symmetry or jawlines. It is built on emotional impact. A man who understands his presence, who controls his energy, who knows when to express and when to hold back, that man will always stand out. Imagine two men. One has perfect features, but he smiles too much, too quickly, too eagerly. His energy feels restless. The other man looks average, but he is calm, grounded. He holds eye contact. He gives that half smile at the right moment. He doesn't rush. He doesn't chase. Now ask yourself honestly, who leaves a lasting impression? The answer is clear. Because one is seeking validation. The other is creating attraction. You must become the second man, not by pretending, not by acting, but by understanding yourself, by slowing down, by being present in your own skin. That is how a high-value man naturally attracts women without effort. He doesn't try to be liked. He focuses on being real. And that authenticity shows up in the smallest details, even in something as simple as a smile. Remember this truth. Women don't fall for perfection. They fall for how you make them feel in small, quiet moments. A half smile can communicate confidence, mystery, and calmness all at once. It can create comfort while also sparking intrigue. That combination is rare, and anything rare becomes valuable. So don't overcomplicate it. Don't force it. Be aware of your expressions. Be intentional with your energy. Let your smile reflect your inner state, not your desire to impress. That is the shift. That is the difference. And once you master this, you will notice something subtle but powerful. You will no longer feel the need to chase attention, because your presence alone will begin to draw it in. If you understand this, then don't just watch, apply it. Next time you lock eyes with her, don't overdo it. Don't perform. Just hold that calm, controlled half smile, and let your presence do the talking. And if you're ready to become that man, drop this in the comments right now. I attract with quiet confidence. Like the video, subscribe for more sharp, real-world insight, and remember, attraction isn't loud, it's felt. 3. The slow head tilt. Silent proof. You're listening. The slow head tilt is one of the most overlooked, yet powerful signals a man can master, and if you understand it through the lens of old Stoic wisdom, you begin to see that influence is rarely loud. It is precise, controlled, and intentional. Most men sabotage themselves by becoming rigid, tense, and overly formal in conversations, believing that stiffness communicates strength, when in reality it communicates distance, and distance kills attraction before it even begins. So you must correct this immediately by adopting a calm, grounded presence, because as Marcus Aurelius said, waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. And being that man starts with how you listen, not how you speak. When a woman talks, she is not just delivering words, she is revealing emotion, testing presence, and scanning for authenticity. And the slow head tilt becomes your silent declaration that you are fully there, fully engaged, and completely unshaken. So instead of nodding mechanically or waiting for your turn, you relax your shoulders, soften your posture, lean in just slightly, and tilt your head with control and intention, not exaggerated, not forced, just enough to signal that you are absorbing her world in that moment. And this small adjustment creates a massive psychological shift because attention, real attention, is rare in modern life, where distractions dominate and most conversations are shallow and fragmented. Think about it. People are glued to their phones, half listening, half present, always preparing their next response. But you choose a different path, the path of Stoicism win, where presence becomes your edge and your iron mind allows you to focus without being pulled away. And that alone separates you from the crowd. When you tilt your head and hold steady eye contact, you communicate something deeper than interest, you communicate understanding. And as Epictetus taught, we have two ears and one mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak. And this is not just philosophy, it is strategy. Because when she feels heard, she relaxes. When she relaxes, she opens up. And when she opens up, connection forms naturally, without force or pressure. There is also a biological layer at play here. The slight exposure of the neck during a head tilt signals openness and ease, a subtle cue that bypasses logic and speaks directly to instinct. She may not consciously notice it, but she will feel it. And feeling is what drives attraction, not analysis. Now bring this into modern scenarios, whether you are at a dinner, a social event, or even a simple coffee meeting. The environment does not matter, your presence does. And when she shares something personal, something emotional, or even something small, you respond not with interruption, not with advice, but with controlled stillness, a slight head tilt, a calm gaze, and measured breathing. Because stillness creates gravity, and gravity pulls people in. And this is where your iron mind comes into play again. Because it takes discipline to remain present, to resist the urge to impress, to resist the urge to dominate the conversation, and instead, to let her step into the spotlight you create. Watch closely when you do this, because her body will begin to mirror yours. She may lean in. Her tone may soften. Her energy will align with yours. And these are not coincidences, they are signals of comfort and growing attraction. And you did not force any of it, you allowed it. Which is the essence of Stoicism win. Most men miss this entirely. They talk too much, move too fast, try too hard, and then wonder why nothing connects. But you operate differently. You understand that attraction is built in micro-moments, in silence, in subtlety, in control. And that is why this simple gesture becomes a powerful tool in your arsenal. Take it further by syncing your breathing. Slow it down when she speaks. Let your calm become contagious, because emotional states transfer between people. When you are grounded, she feels grounded. When you are focused, she feels valued. And when she feels valued, she remembers you, not necessarily your words, but the way you made her feel. And that memory is what lingers long after the interaction ends. Later, when she reflects on the conversation, she may not recall every detail, but she will recall the sense of being understood, the sense of ease, the sense that you are different from the noise she is used to, and that difference is your advantage. This is not about tricks, it is about mastery. It is about aligning your behavior with timeless principles from old Stoic wisdom, building an iron mind that stays present under any circumstance, and applying Stoicism when in real interactions where it actually matters. So train yourself. Practice in everyday conversations with friends, with colleagues, with anyone. Because mastery is built through repetition. And over time, this becomes natural, effortless, part of who you are. And when it is authentic, it is powerful. Remember this clearly. You do not need to be louder, funnier, or more impressive than other men. You need to be more present, more controlled, more aware. Because presence creates connection. Connection builds attraction. And attraction opens doors that force never can. So use the slow head tilt not as a gimmick, but as a reflection of your discipline, your focus, and your ability to truly listen. And in a world full of noise, the man who listens with intention will always stand out, will always be remembered, and will always have the quiet advantage. 4. The subtle touch of the neck or jawline, a primal trigger. 4. The subtle touch of the neck or jawline, a primal trigger that most men overlook, yet it sits quietly among the most effective psychology tricks you will ever learn. If you truly want to understand female psychology and how to fall in love in a way that feels natural, not forced, Listen carefully, because this is not about random movement or nervous habits, and you must not confuse intention with restlessness. Don't fidget. Don't scratch. Don't tug at your collar like a man who is unsure of himself, because that instantly breaks the frame. That signals tension, and tension repels, but calm control attracts. That is the rule. That is the standard you must operate from. Instead, what you are doing here is controlled awareness, a slow, deliberate motion that feels almost accidental, but is, in fact, intentional, like a man who is fully present in his body, fully aware of his space, and completely unhurried by the moment. And this is where psychology tricks blend seamlessly with real world presence, because women are not just listening to your words, they are reading your body constantly, silently, instinctively. And female psychology is wired to pick up on subtle cues far faster than logic can process. When your hand moves slowly along your jawline or briefly touches your neck as you pause before speaking, you are not just doing a gesture. You are creating a moment of tension, a pause that draws attention, and attention is the currency of attraction. You must understand that. Think about it. The jawline and neck are not random areas. They are biologically loaded signals. The jawline communicates structure, decisiveness, and grounded masculinity, while the neck, when exposed without hesitation, signals calm openness, a kind of quiet confidence that says, I am not guarded. I am not rushed. I am here. And when those two signals combine, they trigger something deeper than conscious thought, something rooted in instinct. And this is exactly how psychology tricks and female psychology intersect with how to fall in love, because attraction is rarely logical. It is felt before it is understood. Now imagine the situation clearly. You are sitting across from her. The environment is calm, maybe a quiet cafe, maybe a dimly lit bar, and she asks you something slightly personal. Not too deep, but enough to create a pause. And instead of rushing to answer like most men do, you stop. You breathe. You let silence do its work. And then, slowly, your fingers brush along your jawline, as if you were considering your words, not performing, not exaggerating, just being. And in that small window of time, her attention shifts. Her eyes follow the movement. Her mind registers the pause. And without realizing it, she leans in mentally, because you created space, and space creates curiosity, and curiosity fuels attraction. Do not overdo it. This is critical because the power is in restraint. One or two moments like this in an entire conversation are enough. More than that, and you break the illusion. You must stay disciplined because discipline is attractive. Excess is not. And here is where it gets even more interesting. Watch for her response, because female psychology often mirrors what it connects with. If she starts touching her necklace, brushing her collarbone, or lightly grazing her own neck, that is not coincidence. That is alignment. That is her subconscious saying, I feel this rhythm. And when two people fall into the same rhythm, that is the beginning of emotional connection. That is how to fall in love in its earliest, quietest stage. Now take it a step further. Combine this gesture with intentional eye movement. Don't stare aggressively. Don't look away nervously. Be precise. Look into one eye, then the other. Briefly drop your gaze to her lips, then return upward. And as you do, let your hand move subtly along your jawline. That sequence creates a layered signal, attention, tension, release, and that combination is powerful because it engages both logic and emotion without overwhelming either. Understand this clearly. You are not trying to impress her. Don't perform. Don't seek approval. Be the man who creates an experience instead, because attraction is not about proving your value. It is about expressing it calmly, consistently, and without noise. And this is where most men fail. They try too hard. They move too much. They speak too quickly. And in doing so, they erase the very tension that makes them interesting. You must slow down. You must trust the moment. You must let silence work for you, because silence, when paired with the right gesture, becomes louder than words. And this is why psychology tricks, female psychology, and understanding how to fall in love are not separate ideas. They are connected through presence, through awareness, through control of your own energy, because when your body communicates calm certainty, your words no longer have to carry the weight alone. Remember this: less movement, more meaning; less noise, more presence; less effort, more impact. That is the principle. That is the edge. And when you truly internalize this, when it becomes natural rather than something you try, you will notice something shift. You will stop chasing attention, and attention will begin to come to you quietly, effortlessly, almost as if it was always there, waiting for you to slow down enough to receive it. If you felt the power in that quiet moment, don't just watch, apply it. Master the pause. Control your movements. Let your presence speak before your words do. Like the video, subscribe for more sharp, timeless insights, and drop this in the comments to lock it in your mind. I move with calm intention, and my presence creates attraction. 5. The confident walk. Owning the space without a word. You can say absolutely nothing and still command attention the second you enter a room. That is not magic. That is presence. And presence begins with how you move. Most men overlook this, but if you want to attract women, understand this clearly. Your walk is not just movement, it is a message. It speaks long before your voice ever does. It tells the world whether you see yourself as a high-value man or someone still asking for permission to exist. Body language always tells the truth. You can dress well, say the right lines, even memorize techniques, but if your walk lacks intention, everything else collapses. That is why masculine energy is first felt, not heard. The way you carry yourself reveals your inner world, your confidence, your discipline, your emotional control. You must understand this deeply. Before she hears your name, she feels your presence. Now look at the average man. He walks in like he is trying not to disturb the air. Shoulders curved forward, eyes locked on his phone. Steps rushed, uneven, disconnected. He is physically present, but energetically absent. He thinks he is blending in. He thinks invisibility is safety. But what he is actually broadcasting is hesitation, uncertainty, a lack of ownership over his own space. Don't be that man. Now contrast that with the man who understands himself, the man who has built his frame from within. He walks in and everything shifts, not loudly, not dramatically, but undeniably. Shoulders back, chest open, chin level. His eyes are calm, not searching for approval, not avoiding connection. Just aware, just present. His pace is steady, never rushed. Why? Because he is not chasing anything. Time does not control him. He controls time. That is the walk of a high-value man. That is masculine energy expressed without a single word. Picture this clearly. The music is alive. The room is full. Conversations overlap. Energy is everywhere. A group of women stands near the entrance, laughing, enjoying the moment. Then 2 men enter. The first slips in unnoticed. He moves quickly, head down, almost apologetic. He passes by like a shadow. No presence. No impact. Then you walk in. You don't rush. You don't shrink. You don't try. You simply move with intention. Every step is grounded. Every movement is calm. You take up space, not aggressively, but naturally, as if it has always belonged to you. One woman glances. Then she looks again. She doesn't know why. She just feels something different. That is the power of silent communication. That is how you attract women without effort. Understand this clearly. You do not need exaggerated gestures. You do not need to perform. You do not need that loud, forced swagger that screams insecurity disguised as confidence. That is not strength. That is noise. And people can feel the difference instantly. Real confidence is quiet. It is controlled. It does not demand attention. It allows attention to come. Your walk should say one thing: I am comfortable in my own skin. Nothing more. Nothing less. Let's break it down with precision. Shoulders back. Not stiff, not forced. Just aligned. That signals readiness. Strength. A man who is grounded. Chest slightly open. Not puffed out, but available. That signals confidence without tension. Head level. Not tilted down. Not lifted too high. Just balanced. That shows awareness. Presence. A man who sees the world and is not intimidated by it. Your stride matters. Don't rush. Don't drag. Move smoothly, like you decide the pace, like nothing is pulling you forward or holding you back. Arms relaxed. No fidgeting. No unnecessary movement. That is calm control. That is masculine energy and motion. Now, here is the deeper truth most men never realize. When you move like this, people respond to you differently before they even understand why. Women, especially, are highly attuned to these signals. On a subconscious level, they read your movement as direction, as clarity, as certainty, not aggression, not force, but grounded leadership. And that is what they are drawn to. Because in life, leaders move with calm intention, followers move with hesitation, and attraction naturally follows the man who leads himself first. Think about every powerful entrance you have ever seen in a movie. The man doesn't rush in. He doesn't stumble. He doesn't overcompensate. He walks in with quiet certainty, as if the scene was waiting for him. That image exists for a reason. It reflects something deeply wired in human psychology. So here is a practical rule you must adopt immediately. Before you enter any space, a bar, a restaurant, a meeting, pause for a second. Just 1 second. Adjust your posture. Fix your clothing. Breathe. Then step in with intention. That pause is powerful. It resets your energy. It shifts you from reactive to intentional. It puts you in control of the moment before the moment begins. And remember this. Women are not drawn to the man who tries the hardest to be seen. They are drawn to the man who moves as if being seen is inevitable. Be that man. Walk like your time matters. Walk like your presence has weight. Walk like you don't need approval because you already approve of yourself. That is how a high-value man moves. That is how masculine energy speaks. And that is how you quietly, effortlessly attract women without ever saying a word. 6. Adjusting clothing slowly. The subtle display of self-care. 6. Adjusting your clothing slowly. This is not a habit. This is a signal. And if you understand it, you turn an ordinary movement into quiet influence. You've done it your entire life, rolling your sleeves, fixing your collar, adjusting your watch, but you've likely done it without awareness, without intention, without power. That changes now, because what looks small to you feels significant to her. As Marcus Aurelius once said, the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. And here is the truth. Your movements reveal your inner state long before your words ever do. If your hands move with calm control, you communicate an iron mind. If they rush, if they fidget, if they hesitate, you reveal inner tension. Women notice this instantly, not logically, emotionally, subconsciously. That is where attraction lives. So slow down. Always slow down. When you adjust your sleeve, do it like time belongs to you. One fold, then another. No rush. No apology. No need for validation. That is old Stoic wisdom in motion, the discipline of presence, the mastery of self. In a world addicted to speed, the man who moves slowly stands out without trying. He doesn't chase attention. He draws it. Picture yourself in a modern setting, a restaurant, soft lighting, conversation flowing. In the middle of a sentence, you pause just slightly. You roll your sleeve. Controlled. Smooth. Your forearm reveals itself naturally, not as a display, but as a consequence of your calm. Then you continue speaking as if nothing happened. That's the key. You don't perform. You embody. And she notices. She always notices. Because these small gestures tap into something deeper than logic. They signal care, control, awareness. They say, I am comfortable in my own skin. And nothing is more compelling than that. As James Bond famously demonstrates, not through words, but through behavior, power is never rushed. Power is precise. Every movement intentional. Every gesture measured. That is Stoicism when in real life. Now bring this into your everyday world. Walking into a meeting, entering a gathering, even standing in line for coffee. Before you step forward, pause. Adjust your jacket. Smooth your shirt. Align your watch. Not quickly, not nervously, deliberately. That pause alone separates you from the crowd. Most men hurry because they feel they must. You don't. You choose your pace. And that choice signals control. It signals confidence. It signals an iron mind. Combine this with awareness. Adjust your cuff, then briefly lift your gaze. If she's watching, and she often is, hold eye contact for just a second longer than expected. Then return to your action. No smile forced, no neediness, just presence. You've now layered two powerful signals, self-respect and awareness, into one seamless moment. This is how subtle attraction works. Quiet, invisible to most, unforgettable to those who feel it. And understand this clearly, this has nothing to do with expensive clothing. A simple shirt worn with intention will always outshine luxury worn with discomfort. Because attraction is not about what you wear. It's about how you inhabit what you wear. The rhythm, the energy, the control. That is what people feel. That is what stays with them. As Seneca said, it is not the man who is too little, but the man who craves more that is poor. In the same way, it is not the man with simple style who lacks presence, but the man who lacks control over himself. So you must train this. Make it part of your identity. Every adjustment becomes a ritual. Every movement becomes a message. Don't rush your gestures. Don't scatter your energy. Be precise. Be calm. Be intentional. Repeat it until it becomes natural. Because repetition builds mastery, and mastery builds presence. This is not about impressing anyone. It's about aligning your outer behavior with inner discipline. That is the essence of old Stoic wisdom. You don't need noise. You don't need exaggeration. You need control. You need awareness. You need stillness within motion. And when you reach that point, something shifts. People begin to feel you before they fully notice you. Women sense it even faster. Not because you tried harder, but because you stopped trying in the wrong way. You stopped forcing. You started embodying. That is the difference. That is the edge. So here is your instruction. The next time you move, anywhere, anytime, slow it down. Adjust your sleeve like it matters. Fix your collar like it's a decision, not a reaction. Touch your watch like you own your time, not like you're chasing it. And remember this, attraction is rarely built in loud moments. It is built in quiet control, in subtle details, in movements that feel effortless but are rooted in discipline. Master this, and you don't just walk into a room, you arrive with presence. You don't just get noticed, you get remembered. And that right there is how Stoicism win becomes reality in your life. If you've understood this, then don't just watch, apply it. The difference between being noticed and being ignored is in the smallest details. Move with intention. Slow down. Own every gesture. Now prove it to yourself. Drop this in the comments. I move with purpose, and my presence speaks before I do. 7. Leaning back casually. The power of relaxed dominance. 7. Leaning back casually. The quiet power most men completely overlook. Listen carefully. This is where attraction shifts from effort to presence. Most men get this wrong the moment they sit down. They lean forward too much. They crowd the space. Their body says, I hope you like me. And that subtle signal quietly erases their edge. Don't do that. Be aware. That is the difference. A man who constantly leans in is chasing. A man who knows how to lean back is choosing. And in female psychology, that distinction matters more than words ever will. You must understand this. Attraction grows in calm, not in tension. It expands in space, not in pressure. When you lean back casually, just slightly, you're not pulling away, you're creating room for her to come closer. That is one of the most effective psychology tricks you can ever learn. Picture yourself in a social setting. Noise everywhere. People trying too hard. Voices overlapping. Energy scattered. Now look at the man who stands out without speaking the loudest. He's relaxed. Shoulders open. Breathing steady. He leans back just enough to show comfort, not distance. He's not disengaged. He's grounded. And that grounded energy pulls attention toward him like gravity. Women feel it instantly, even if they can't explain it. That's how female psychology works. It responds to what is felt, not what is forced. Now take this into a one-on-one moment. You're sitting across from her. She's talking, animated, expressive. Most men lean in, interrupt, nod excessively, trying to prove interest. Don't. Be different. Lean back slightly. Maintain eye contact. Let your body stay still. Let your presence do the talking. That is how to fall in love, not through pressure, but through emotional space that allows connection to breathe. When you hold your posture calmly, something subtle happens. She begins to lean in. She closes the gap. She invests. And that shift, her moving toward you, is where real attraction begins. That is one of the most overlooked psychology tricks in dating today. Now add another layer. Stillness. This is where most men fail again. They lean back, but their hands fidget. Their legs bounce. Their fingers tap. That breaks the frame. Don't do that. Be still. That is power. Stillness signals control. It says, I am comfortable in silence. I don't need to fill every second. And in female psychology, that kind of emotional control is deeply attractive because it feels safe, grounded, and real. Think about it. When someone is nervous, they move too much. When someone is uncertain, they shrink or overcompensate. But when someone is truly confident, they slow down. They take up space naturally. They don't rush. They don't chase. They allow. That is the energy you must embody. You must train yourself to sit back, not as a performance, but as a reflection of inner certainty. And here's the deeper truth most men miss. Leaning back is not about posture, it's about identity. It's about becoming the man who doesn't need to prove anything. The man who doesn't compete for attention because his presence already commands it. That is how to fall in love in a way that lasts, by creating a dynamic where she feels drawn, not pushed. Now pay attention to the signals. When you apply this correctly, her behavior changes. She leans closer. She mirrors your rhythm. Her tone softens. Her body angles toward you. These are not accidents. These are responses. Female psychology is always responding. And when you create the right environment, calm, open, grounded, her natural instincts begin to engage without resistance. That is why these psychology tricks work so well. They align with human nature instead of fighting against it. And remember this, leaning back is not laziness. It is intentional relaxation. There is a difference. Lazy is disconnected. Relaxed is in control. You must stay present. You must listen. You must engage, but without collapsing your posture or chasing validation. That balance is rare. And because it is rare, it is powerful. So the next time you sit down at dinner, at a cafe, in any social setting, watch yourself. Don't lean forward out of habit. Don't hunch. Don't crowd the moment. Sit back. Open your body. Slow your breathing. Hold your space. Let her come to you. Because the truth is simple and undeniable. The man who is at ease within himself becomes the center others move toward. And when you master that, you don't need to chase attraction anymore. You become it. 8. Offering your hand or gentle guidance. Leadership without control. 8. Offering your hand or guiding her gently. This is leadership without control, and most men completely misunderstand it. They think it's outdated, too formal, maybe even unnecessary. Don't fall into that trap. This is not about playing the role of a polite gentleman for show. It's not about exaggerated gestures or pretending to be something you're not. Be clear on this. This is about tapping into something ancient, something deeply wired into human psychology. A woman's desire to feel safe, to feel considered, to feel guided without ever feeling restricted. That is where real masculine energy lives. Calm, grounded, certain. Picture this clearly. You're walking together through a crowded street. Noise everywhere. Movement everywhere. Most men either rush ahead or drift aimlessly, leaving her to navigate on her own. Don't do that. Instead, you place your hand lightly on the small of her back. Not pushing, not claiming, just guiding. Subtle, effortless. That one small movement says everything. I see you. I'm aware. You're safe with me. And in that moment, you separate yourself from the average man. You become the high-value man who leads without words, who doesn't need attention to create impact. Now imagine another moment. You approach a curb or a set of stairs. You don't announce anything. You don't make a scene. You simply extend your hand naturally as if it's instinct. No hesitation. No performance. She takes it. And in that brief contact, something deeper than logic happens. Trust begins to form. And understand this clearly. Attraction is never built on looks alone. It is built on trust, on emotional safety, on the feeling that being around you makes life easier, smoother, calmer. That is how you attract women without chasing them. Here's the rule you must follow. Subtlety is power. The moment you make it dramatic, the moment you say, "Here, let me help you," you break the spell. It becomes forced. It becomes performative. But when it flows naturally, when it feels like second nature, she feels it differently. She doesn't analyze it. She experiences it. And that experience stays with her. Watch her response. Always observe. If she accepts your hand easily, if she leans into your guidance, if she responds with a slight squeeze or relaxed body language, that is alignment. That is comfort. That is attraction growing beneath the surface. A high-value man doesn't guess. He notices. He reads energy. He adjusts accordingly. Now take it further. You're in a busy bar. People moving, noise rising, space tight. Most men push through, expecting her to keep up. That is careless. That is disconnected. You do the opposite. You place your hand lightly on her lower back, guiding her through the crowd, creating a path. You don't speak. You don't need to. Your touch communicates awareness, presence, control without pressure. That is masculine energy at its finest. Quiet, certain, protective, not restrictive. Understand the psychology behind this. Human beings are highly responsive to touch. And for women, a calm, respectful, protective touch signals safety and emotional intelligence. It tells her you're not just physically present. You are mentally present. You notice details. You care about her experience. And that alone puts you miles ahead of men who are too focused on themselves. Now compare. Look at the man who walks ahead, distracted, unaware, leaving her behind. Or worse, ignoring her completely. That man may talk loudly. He may try to impress. But he fails where it matters most. Connection, presence, awareness. You must be different. You must be the man who leads without noise, who guides without control, who makes her feel seen without needing recognition. Leadership is not loud. It is not aggressive. It is not about control. True leadership is quiet. It is felt, not announced. It is in the way you move, the way you position yourself, the way you anticipate without asking. That is what defines a high-value man. Now, let's go deeper. There's a signal most men completely overlook, but it reveals everything. Mirroring. When a woman is drawn to you, she begins to reflect your behavior without realizing it. You cross your legs, she follows. You take a sip, she mirrors. You touch your jaw, seconds later, she does the same. This is not coincidence. This is subconscious alignment. This is connection forming beneath awareness. Use this wisely. Lean back slightly. Slow your movements. Take your time. If she follows your rhythm, she is syncing with your energy. And here's the advanced move. Change your posture. Shift your breathing. Adjust your pace. If she continues to mirror you, she is locked into your frame. That is silent attraction. No words needed. And remember this. Attraction is never about being the loudest man in the room. Not the richest. Not the most talkative. Those strategies fade quickly. Real attraction lives in the quiet details. The triangle of your gaze. The calm half smile. The slow head tilt. The way you touch your jawline. The way you walk. The way you pause before speaking. The way you guide her gently. The way you notice when her voice softens. Because here is another truth you must understand. When a woman feels drawn to you, her voice changes. It softens. It slows. It becomes more intimate. She could be loud and energetic with others, but with you, her tone shifts. That shift is not random. It is emotional focus. It is her creating a space between you and the world around you. A softer voice creates intimacy. It pulls you in. It builds a private moment in a public space. And inside that moment, attraction grows stronger. So don't ignore it. Match it. Lower your tone. Slow your speech. Mirror that energy. That is how you deepen connection instantly. Women may forget your exact words. They may forget the details of the conversation, but they will never forget how they felt around you. And these small, controlled, intentional gestures create feelings that last. Feelings of safety, of calm, of quiet excitement. So don't rush. Don't perform. Don't try to impress. Be present. Be aware. Be the man who leads with subtlety, who understands that true power is quiet and that masculine energy is not about force, but about control, clarity, and care. That is how you truly attract women. Hey, my friend, I'm really glad you stayed with me until the end of this video. Listen, you don't need to be the loudest guy in the room to stand out. You don't need to chase attention or prove anything to anyone. Real power is quiet. It's in your presence, your calm, and those small, subtle gestures most men ignore. That's what truly makes people feel you. So here's my honest advice to you. Don't just watch and forget. Take one thing from this video, just one, and apply it in your real life. Tonight, tomorrow, this week. Watch how people respond. Watch how her eyes stay a little longer, how the energy shifts around you. That's when you'll realize you already had this power inside you. And remember this, be calm, be grounded, be in control of yourself. That's what creates real attraction. Not noise, not effort, just quiet confidence. If this helped you, go ahead and like the video, subscribe, and stay with me for the next one. We're just getting started, and there's so much more waiting for you. Take care, stay sharp, and I'll see you in the next video.